Hello, you beautiful humans. Welcome back to It's Got Pockets. This is season 2. This is the podcast for you, for women who are driven, time poor, always on, holding the sky up, women who are not done yet, women who are purpose hungry, but women who are done with surface level empowerment, women who want truth, connection, and practical inspiration that meets you where you actually are. And I am your host. I'm Sarah Knight, leadership and transformation coach, consultant, and disruptor for good. Let's crack on. Here we are, episode 3. Let's do it. This episode is brought to you by Birkdale Insurance Group. It's proud to be a people first business. And for them, that means having the really important conversations about who gets a seat at the table, including everyone. Now then, let's get straight into this one, because this episode has been brewing inside me for an awful long time. It has taken me way too long to realise that having multiple specialisms, also known as a layered career people, being that woman that's done a bit of this, dipped into that, zigzagged across sectors and roles, it's not a flaw. It's not a lack of focus. It's not evidence that I haven't cracked it. It was the thing, actually. It's the thing that makes me who I am today and brings me the brilliance that I bring to people, to humans, to women, from coaching, training, consultancy. That zigzag across the sectors and the roles is the thread that stitched everything together. It's the reason that all this now makes sense. I didn't know it at the time, obviously. And if you're someone who's had a career that doesn't look very neat, doesn't look linear, doesn't look like a straight ladder from A to B, you're going to get this one. For years, I genuinely thought being a bit of everything meant I was somehow unfinished. Like I was failing the unwritten rule of adulthood, of that manual of adulting, you know, the one that we'd never got, the one that apparently, like, we should know now. But in that manual, I imagine, it says, pick a lane, stay in it. Don't make things complicated for anyone trying to label you. But we all know that that manual is a bit of a crock of nonsense. The older I get, the more I speak to women with experience, women who've lived and learned and moved through multiple chapters, the clearer it actually becomes. Our careers don't make sense forwards. They make sense backwards. And when we turn around and we look back properly, not with shame, not with self-criticism, but with that wonderful word, curiosity, we realise something really blinking powerful. Those zigzags, those I'll just crack on years, those moments where you maybe thought you were drifting, they were all breadcrumbs. Little hints, little pulls, little nudges and experiments to do the work that you were actually meant to do. And there's no definition of when you should be doing the work that you're actually meant to do, when you should be stopping or when you should be starting, when you should be deciding that you're not done, when you should be deciding to burn it all down and start again. The breadcrumb story is part of how we evolve, and we need to give ourselves permission to do that. I started out in marketing and communications, in PR. I wanted to be a fashion buyer. That lasted about 4 minutes when I realised that I'd have to be on my feet in Harrods. I did work in Harrods for quite a long time. Thankfully, I never encountered that man. So my career fell, as so often careers do, into PR and marketing and comms, corporate strategies, campaigns, messaging, PR stunts. I had a brilliant time, I'm not going to lie. We had some great times, things that you would never be allowed to do today. I was progressing, learning, delivering, building a career that made sense to everybody. Sort of made sense to myself. I was just thinking, right, what's next? What's next? What's next? But the thing that I missed, the thing that I didn't notice as I was moving through, was actually what I loved most about every single role wasn't the execution, although there were some campaigns that I did absolutely love, that were really absolutely purpose-filled, driven, and some that were just completely bonkers. Like doing the first divorce on air for Key 103. That was good fun. But actually, on reflection, what I really loved most about every single role that I've done has always been the people. It's not been the execution of what I was doing, not the brand strategy. It took me a lot of years to work out that strategy is just a grand word for a plan. It was the people at the heart of it every single time, helping them, working with them, backing them, coaching them, developing them, seeing something in them that maybe they couldn't see in themselves and helping them get there, move there. If someone was struggling, I want to help them, I'd stay behind. If someone needed support with a pitch, I'd probably distract them and then I'd help them write it. If someone needed confidence, I'd find a way to give it to them. I naturally fell into the human side of every single job that I had. I didn't call it people development. I didn't call it coaching. I certainly didn't call it talent or leadership. I just thought that this was part and parcel of who I was, being helpful, being the one who got people. And if you'd have said to me back then, oh, Sarah, you know, this human stuff, this is actually the job that you're meant for, I might have probably looked at you like you'd grown a second head. Because back in the day, I'm not sure there was that many jobs in talent or people or leadership or culture. Or maybe I just didn't know they existed. All those brilliant jobs that haven't actually been discovered yet. But I didn't recognise the breadcrumb trail. I didn't recognise that pull towards people, but it never went away. It just hid underneath all the job titles and the roles and the responsibilities and my need to get that seat at the table, to get that job, that promotion, that title that I thought would be the thing that I needed to give myself permission to be the boss. And eventually, without even planning it, without a 5-year vision board, without a this is my destiny moment, I actually found myself naturally evolving into the world of people development, coaching, behaviour, talent and leadership. And then I realised that actually that was always where I was meant to be. But that's only happened since I've been at probably, I think, level 45. I'm now at level 52. If you've been listening to me for a while, you know that's how we now refer to age. Because the better the levels, the older we are, the wiser we are, the more wisdom that we carry. But long before the people development world revealed itself, there was a plot twist I didn't choose. That redundancy when I was pregnant 24 years ago. A moment that actually, in it, felt brutal, overwhelming, and frankly unfair. But even that season ended up being a breadcrumb. It shoved me into entrepreneurship. It made me resourceful. It built my resilience. It forced me to back myself, even when I was feeding my 6-week-old daughter on my tatas whilst running an event as well. Not at the same time, obviously. I'd nip out, feed her, and then come back in and carry on running the event. It also taught me a little bit about security isn't always where you think it is. Now, at the time, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is a useful learning opportunity. Not a chance. I was probably thinking, insert various swear words, how the bloody hell am I going to make this work? And I know so many people in my world that come to me at the moment are going through redundancy hell. It's everywhere at the moment. And it's hard. But looking back on that, that's the moment that set up an entire chapter of my life. And that's why I talk about how powerful our plot twists are. Because they don't always come with clarity. Sometimes they do show up with a hell of a lot of chaos, but they move us. And in hindsight, when we look back, we can trace the line. And when we look at behavioural science, that then weaves in and underpins what we're talking about. When we talk about cognitive flexibility, that's our brain's ability to switch thinking, to see patterns and adapt quickly. We don't build from a tiny, predictable path. We build from lived experience. Every time you've moved sectors, you've pivoted roles, every time you've cracked on during a messy season, that messy middle where it feels really hideous, what I can guarantee is growth is coming. Change, good change, as long as you choose it, is happening because you've strengthened the part of your brain that handles complexity, uncertainty, and leadership. And then there's career adaptability. People who move through different environments, different cultures, different teams, different demands, we become better problem solvers. We're quicker to adjust. We can see the world through a different lens. We're quicker to learn, quicker to lead humans, not processes. So it's not a lack of direction, it's range, it's capacity, it's depth. And for some of us, on paper, our path might look much straighter, much more linear, same industry, same company, clear promotions. But we all know that our lives won't have been linear. Zigzags might not have been in job titles. They might have been in everything that's happened around them. Pregnancy, maternity leave, caring for someone, illness, burnout, a team falling apart, a restructure, a role change you didn't ask for, grief, a quiet identity shift you didn't tell anyone about. So your career might be linear on a CV, but your experience isn't. And all those chapters count. They change us. They give us lenses and insights that we can't learn from in a classroom. And that's part of the reason you are the brilliant human that you are today. When I look back at the past 30 years, yes, it is 30 years since I started working like a proper adult. I mean, I'm not sure that's even possible, but apparently it is if I do the maths. And it might need to apply some girl maths to that. But my career is definitely not a straight motorway. It's much more of a patchwork map. Startups, corporates, freelance, leadership, motherhood, mat leave, rocking in a corner, training, talent, development, coaching, consulting, a whole manner of plot twists, a whole heap of grief in there, some reinventions, some stuff that I've had to leave behind, some pauses, some returns. But all of it, every job, every break, every detour, I'll just crack on, which has really been my mantra for the past 30 years. Every scary bit, every brilliant bit has fed into what I do right now. It's why I can sit with women in all sorts of chapters and get it, because I've lived through enough chapters to see the threads. So maybe in this period of quiet revolution in our season, it's about understanding that you didn't get here by accident. Every movement you made, even though some of it wasn't conscious, was a choice. You got here by accumulating all this brilliant, fantastic lived experience. Not saying that it was easy, but there was breadcrumbs, there was instinct, there was lived experience that have guided you to be the brilliant human that you are today. Your path doesn't need to be tidy to be valuable. It just simply needs to be yours, and you need to own it. And you need to be proud of it and not think that someone else's success script should be yours. So before we finish, here's your weekly pause, your moment of stillness in all the noise. Have a think about, maybe just reflect, write it down. Just consider as you're walking around. Where in your own career, in your own path, have you maybe mistaken range, breaks, or detours for a lack of direction? And what shifts when you see those chapters as evidence of your depth, your ability, your adaptability, your resilience, your brilliance, instead of proof that you are maybe a little bit lost? Write it down. Take a walk. Think about it. Have that moment of reflection. These are the most powerful moments we can gift ourselves. It doesn't take long, 5 minutes. Just allow yourself that gift of thinking about you and remembering how brilliant you are. Thank you for listening. As ever, I blooming love doing these episodes. I get to wang on. Who doesn't love that? The breadcrumbs of where I've got today. Wanging on to you. Today's episode was sponsored by Birkdale Insurance Group, a people-first business with a powerhouse of talented female board members bucking the male-dominated financial services trend. You can find out more at birkdaleinsuranceGroup.co.uk. And that's it. That's today's pocket full of joy for you. Now crack on. Well, that's us for today. If something nudged you, brilliant. That's good. That's the whole point. A little moment of reflection, a little bit of peace, a little bit of power in your pocket. And if you're a woman with experience, running a business, leading a team, holding the blinking sky up, playing whack-a-mole at any given moment, and you're ready for a room that actually gets it, come and join us inside the Found Her Fire Society and Collective. Thanks for listening.